Good evening, everyone. This is Julie Stewart, Annuity Director here at the Milner Group. And tonight we're going to be talking about how to determine the annuity product type right when you're in the home covered an asset. So we've created an annuity decision tree which should make it really easy. And honestly, after looking at it a few times, you'll have it memorized because it's really that easy. Tonight, I'm actually joined by Paul Geisen. He's on the line, and he's going to share with us his really secret to success, how he's uncovering the assets, when in his presentation is he actually asking the questions, and what questions is he really asking. So, Paul, we're really glad that you could join us this evening. And as always, this is live, so we will have a recording up on NASBNation.com shortly after. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box. There should be one over to the right. You can type in your questions, or at the end we can just open it up and go from there. All right, so jumping right in, the agenda really is to talk about how to have a successful annuity sale. We know that it starts with uncovering the asset, identifying the client goal, and then determining the product type. So we've definitely created some great tools which you can find on NASB Nation, things like the fact finder, the annuity decision tree, suitability forms, all sorts of information for you. But the very first thing that we need to understand how to do is uncover the money. Love the title here, Show Me the Money. So we have lead-in questions, right? But really it's kind of when do we ask these questions? How do we ask them? And then what are we looking for? So I'm going to give it a rest, and I'm going to let Paul share the secrets to his success. Paul, take it away.
Hey, Julie, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Excellent, great. Well, good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be able to speak and share with you. I'm probably right. You're probably right where I was just over a year ago, maybe like a year and a half, when I didn't really know much about annuity sales at all. But I started hearing about other life insurance agents making these sales, and trust me, they weren't any better than I was. I was probably better than some of them concerning final expense, and yet they're making some pretty significant income from these annuity sales. Anyway, so I jumped right in to learn as much as I could, and Julie has been there every step of the way. She has always been accessible. She probably got sick and tired of me calling so much, but she made herself available, and that is why she's there, to educate us and help us. So with that being said, I was able to take that knowledge and transfer it to every appointment that I go to. So Craig Harvey teaches us, don't leave any money on the table. Can you imagine, I was just talking with an agent today, he's one of our top agents in our company here at NASB, and he rarely looks for annuity opportunities. I said, dude, look, in the past 2 weeks, here's how much I found. I said, could you imagine how much you're missing? So we're leaving money on the table. Well, I've decided in my career, because as a life insurance agent, I can look for this money, but I'm not going to ever leave a house without at least asking. So obviously, final expense is our bread and butter. It's the lead that got us in the home. So that's why we're there. We're there to protect lives and to protect families, and to take them out of bad policies and put them in permanent whole life ones. But at the end of it, that's not the only need that they have. Most Americans are not prepared adequately for retirement. So an annuity is exactly what they need, and I believe that. So you got to believe in the product, and then you have to believe in the companies that you represent. So through the Milner Group here, I mean, Julie's put me in touch with just dozens of companies that can provide a solution. So how do we find it? We're in the home, you've made your sale with final expense, or maybe you haven't. I have sold annuities to clients that I could not sell final expense to. So why is that? Well, sometimes they're sick, broken, dumb, or, they already have a great policy, but they do have something else. It's a retirement fund of sorts. So, guys, what I like to say is at the very end of my presentation, I've closed the deal, I've written up a policy, or if I couldn't, and I've exhausted that, Well, I finally say at the very end, almost like when I'm kind of like packing up. By the way, Miss Johnson, there's something else that I specialize in that I've been able to help a lot of my clients with who are just like you. And it's called our Safe Money Program. Have you ever heard of that before? And of course, they always say no. So if you notice, I don't say annuity. And I don't do that because, as I have been trained and taught, that there are some myths out there about annuities. And I don't want them to be hung up on the word because they'll associate that word with some bad story they heard. So I just say Safe Money Program. And of course, they say, no, I haven't heard of that. Well, here's how it works. And I say, simply that I've met with, another lady just like yourself. When she retired, she had this 401k. And have you ever heard of that? Of course, I say, yeah, I have one, or I had one. So then that lets you know, of course, that they've got something. So then I just continue to tell the story. Well, this other client of mine, she didn't know what to do with it. So she just put it into an IRA, let's just say. Or maybe she put it into an annuity. But she's lost money on it. So have you ever felt that way? And this is the question, guys. Just ask them. Have you ever felt that way about your retirement fund? Or you can simply say, have you ever lost money? Ever lost money? Don't say in the past year or 2 years, but ever lost money in your retirement fund. And just let them respond. If they don't have anything, they're going to tell you that. But if they do, then they're going to, share with you what they have. And then that kind of opens up the conversation. So, Julie, I hope that helps people. It's just that simple, just that basic. I'm not going into details. I'm just trying to uncover. Do you have something? Not even what it is. I just want to know, do you have anything? And then we go into more detail after that.
That's perfect. And Paul, just to clarify, so when you do ask about the 401k, you worked with somebody that had one, if they say no, do they tend to then share with you, but I have a bank CD, or but I have some money in the bank? Or is there another question that you might ask to dig a little deeper?
Right. So if they say no, I say, well, do you, well, and then I just come out and ask them, well, do you have any retirement fund in place? Any retirement plan? And so that covers everything.
Simple enough. Yeah. Do you have any retirement funds or plan in place? That's actually perfect. So hopefully that does help the listeners to understand that it's really more of a conversational approach. You're not talking about anything big and scary. You're just asking a very simple question. And I outlined here on the slide, what exactly are we looking for? And really what we're looking for is money that's sitting around doing nothing. What I mean by that is it's sitting in a bank account making 0.0%, or it's in a bank CD, which is, again, making very, very little interest. It could be in a money market account or retirement accounts such as an employer 401k, maybe an IRA with a brokerage account, or maybe it's an annuity contract. We're looking for somebody that has an annuity that's in force, but maybe it's at the end of its term and it's just kind of sitting there not really doing much. Or life insurance cash value. I do caution you on trying to move life insurance cash value to an annuity. It is actually, that's the most difficult move to make, but there are opportunities. So you have at your fingertips really access to annuities that really can help shape your client's retirement future. And that kind of leads us into, well, okay, so we've uncovered some money. What do we do next? Well, we move right to the annuity fact finder, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We already have information out there. You can find this on NASB.com or NASBNation.com. But what I really want to drive home for you here is that it's really important on the first page where it talks about the retirement information and it says, are you still working? If yes, what's your income? We really need you to fill out values here. I need to know how much money are they actually bringing in and how much are they spending out. I'm looking for any shortfall in their budget. Do they have a budget? Are they spending a little bit more than they make? If they are, they're probably not a great candidate for an annuity because there is suitability issues surrounding that. Please make sure that the client has access to money outside the sale. So it's very helpful from a design standpoint if you can get them to share with you, what sources of income do you have and how much are you spending out per month. But really, the annuity decision tree that we're talking about today really goes hand in hand with your client's primary goal for the money. And this is also found on the Fact Finder. So there's 3 goals that you see on the screen. It's either more income, to grow the money without risk, or to leave money to beneficiaries. And to sum that up, it's really just income growth or wealth transfer. Once you get your client to tell you what is their number 1 priority, that's going to help you immediately begin to target down into the product type. So sometimes clients will say, well, I want everything. I want income, I want to grow it, and I want to leave money to my kids. Well, that's great, and we can certainly help with that, but we really do need the number 1 objective because, again, that helps us narrow down their product type. And that's where we go into the annuity decision tree. Hopefully you're all logged online right now and you can see what I'm looking at, but essentially we have created a decision tree that will make the path very, very easy to follow based on the client's primary objective. So as you can see on the screen, there's 3 goals: income, wealth transfer, or growth and accumulation. Based on the answer that they give you for their number 1 goal, you just follow it down. So if your client says, I need income, the follow-up question is, well, do you need income now or later? And if they say now, you're going to follow the path and you're going to talk about a single premium immediate annuity. And if your client says, I need income later, you want to follow up and say, well, when do you think you're going to need it? Because we really need to narrow that down. Do they need it in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Regardless of what the answer is, you are always going to talk about an indexed annuity with an income rider. And I know you're thinking, oh, I skipped a product because there is a deferred income annuity listed there, the DIA. And a deferred income annuity is a plausible option. However, that contract is very, very limiting, so it's very few and far between that we actually look at that, generally because it's not in the best interest of the client. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it is important to understand the types of income annuities, which are your single premium immediate annuity or SPIA, your deferred income annuity, and your indexed annuity. So if they need income now, you're talking about an immediate annuity, and if they need it later, you're going to talk about an indexed annuity with an income rider. Moving on to wealth transfer. If they say, I really want to leave the money, that I have to my kids or my grandkids, that's great. Your follow-up question is, when do you plan on needing access to the money? And it's kind of a trick question. Hopefully they're going to say, never, I want to leave it to my kids. But sometimes people will say, well, you know what, I think I'm going to need it in about 5 years. And that's an indicator to you that wealth transfer really isn't their primary objective. So be sure to always ask that follow-up question. When do you plan on needing access to the money? If they say never, great. You're going to talk about an indexed annuity with a death benefit rider. Easy as that. And then finally, if they say that they're looking for growth and accumulation, your question is, when do you plan on needing access to the money? So it's the same question that we're asking again. And they're going to either tell you short-term or long-term. So if they say short-term, I'll need it in 3 to 5 years, you're going to simply talk about a fixed guaranteed annuity. That's also known as a MIGA, or a multi-year guaranteed annuity, and it's essentially just guaranteeing a stated rate of return or an interest rate every year for the term selected. And then if they say, well, you know what, Julie, I don't need the money for 10 years. I just want to grow it. I want to know that it's safe, and I'm not going to touch it. In most cases, we're going to go ahead and look at an indexed annuity. As we know and as we've talked about before, indexed annuities do offer a lot more upside potential and growth opportunity for your clients. The beauty being that it's still 100% guaranteed and fixed. right? So there's no market volatility there. You'll notice on the bottom of the screen, it's listing out features of each. And those are cues for a little bit more detail. Going back over to the income side, immediate annuities have the opportunity to provide immediate income. So this is your SPIA and your DIA. And then it can either provide income for life, or it can provide income for life plus a death benefit. And that's what's meant by refund in period certain. And those, again, are just cues. We're going to jump in to look at what are some talking points on all of this. But then again, for an index annuity with an income rider, again, they have two options. It can just be the income only, which is guaranteed for life, or sometimes there's income riders that have added benefits that we call confinement or ADL. And really what that is that it'll double the income for up to 5 years if your client becomes unable to perform 2 out of 6 ADLs. And I know that that's kind of maybe sounds like a lot of jargon, but really you can think of it as a long-term care kicker. You know, they have an accident, they need some help. They can actually accelerate their income rider to pay them out double for up to 5 years. So that's kind of an indication to you if somebody says, well, I don't have any long-term care insurance, I really need income and I don't have long-term care insurance. You can be thinking in the back of your mind, hey, it might be great to show her, you know what if I can get you an index annuity with an income rider and some additional benefits in case you do need care. The wealth transfer, again, is just an index annuity with death benefit, and that's what the feature is talking about. And then again, in the growth and accumulation, the fixed guaranteed annuity is a guaranteed interest rate. It cannot get any easier than that. And the index annuity, upside potential with downside protection. And now we'll get right into the talking points. And actually, you know what, before I do that, Paul, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, Julie, I want to definitely convey to everyone listening that Julie will walk you through every step of the way. So after you first uncover the money, right, then you fill out that fact form, fact finder. Don't feel like you have to sell anything. I never do. All I say is, okay, great. Now that I've got all of these questions answered, now I know how to best help you. So what I'm going to do is go back to my annuity specialist, because they help me, the agent in the field. And all they do is they look at all of our carriers to find the absolute best solution for you. So I want you to know it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's because we're working hard for you. So then that's when you leave that appointment and you email that fact finder to Julie and she calls you, you have a conference call to where everything she's saying right now, she breaks it down in detail to you and to your client. And she's probably got tired of having to repeat herself to me because I had to ask her to repeat herself several times because I wasn't getting it. But she's just that patient. But once you've got it, then you're empowered and you'll be ready to go back to your client to make that presentation. So, you know, I just want you guys to know that Julie is there for you every step of the way. She'll break this down, but you've got to pursue her. I know a lot of agents, they find money, but they don't follow through. And, well, last year I made over $30,000 just from annuity sales. So, you know, that pursuit of your help, which is in Julie, is going to help you a long way.
That's a great point. I appreciate that, Paul, for sure. And, you know, to kind of just back up a little bit, you know, you could always refer to me as your safe money specialist or your retirement specialist or your annuity specialist, as Paul mentioned. If you're kind of leery about using the word annuity, you can fill that in again with a different title. And decision tree isn't meant to make you feel like you're wavering or standing on your own and having to figure out in the moment. Really what it's meant to do is to get the wheels turning in your mind. Like, okay, they're talking about income. Ooh, I know we're going to talk about an index annuity. Okay, index annuities can provide income. So really all these pieces are in place to help build your foundation and get you comfortable, especially because the client might say, oh, you know what, I have an immediate annuity. Well, now you'll know what an immediate annuity is and you'll know what it does. So to wrap up this session, we're just going to quickly talk about some high-level talking points for each product type that is on the annuity decision tree, starting with the income solution. So if your client is looking for an immediate annuity, whether it's a single premium immediate or deferred income or deferred annuity, the tagline is always going to be, it's the most bang for the buck. The immediate annuity is going to produce more income immediately than any other annuity out there today. It is the best way to leverage your client's money, and it will provide income that can never run out. It literally will last their lifetime, even if they live until they're 120 years old. And it is guaranteed. So it does start immediately. The lifetime income is guaranteed, and we can provide death benefit protection if they, say that they want to make sure that they leave something behind, if they can. Indexed annuities with income riders. That's great for a client that is looking for future income. Indexed annuities are different from immediate annuities because they allow the client to maintain access and control over their money. With an immediate annuity, they are exchanging a lump sum for an immediate stream of income that is guaranteed for the rest of their lives. So there is no more account value. With an indexed annuity, they're putting the money into an annuity with an income rider that grows the income value, but they always have access to the account value. In fact, at the end of 10 years or whatever, they can decide to move the money if they want to. So it gives them flexibility and control. And then as we had discussed, some indexed annuities with income riders have a doubling feature if the client should have some type of a long-term care event. And like Paul said, those are details I can get to on a case-by-case basis. So wealth transfer. Clients want to leave it to their beneficiaries. This is a great way to position some money that requires absolutely no underwriting. So if you're working with somebody who maybe they don't qualify for life insurance anymore, or they just can't afford it because they waited too long, but they do have a little bit of money and they're really concerned with trying to leave it to their kids or whatever, a fixed index annuity with a death benefit rider is a home run every time. It will leverage the premium. It's usually through a bonus or some type of a growth rate. And really, it's just a great way to say, hey, look, I'm going to take your $25,000, I'm going to turn it into $40,000 immediately, guaranteed. That definitely fits well with clients. And then finally, the growth alternative. So if we're trying to grow the money, your clients are looking for safety, security, and growth, we're going to look at either the fixed guaranteed annuity, which is also known as a MIGA. You can think of this as a CD alternative. If your clients have money in CDs, we will absolutely kill what a CD is crediting. I think a 5-year CD rate might be at like 0.9%. Actually, I think that's only online. So let's say 0.5%. Multi-year guaranteed annuities on the 5-year, we're getting as high as 2.5%. And that's 2.5% compound interest for 5 years. It may not sound like a lot, but in this interest rate environment, it actually is very competitive. The fixed guaranteed annuity will not only have the higher interest rates, but it provides tax deferral. So every penny they make, they do not have to pay taxes on it until they take it out. And it provides flexibility. They have access to the money, so they have peace of mind. And then finally, your alternate option being, again, the indexed annuity. Indexed annuities are very near and dear to my heart. They're stellar products for people that have a longer time horizon. They provide safety, security, and an opportunity for growth. They are fixed and they are guaranteed. So at the end of the day, what you can always hold true to yourself is that you really are putting people in a much better position. We only work with safe money options at the Milner Group. So everything we deal in, from final expense through life, fully underwritten life, to annuities, to long-term care, it's all fixed guaranteed products. Hopefully you found the information useful. The replay will be up probably by tomorrow. And please, if there's any topics that you feel would be helpful to you, let us know, because not only can we create webinars that we will be producing for you, but we're also creating videos for an archive on NASBNation.com. And also, I just want to finish up by letting you know that the last Tuesday of every month for the rest of the year, So in September, October, November, and December, the last Tuesday of the month, we'll be hosting these webinars at 7 o'clock Eastern. So please be sure to join us. Paul, I appreciate your time, and we'll talk with you soon. Y'all have a good night.